So you're looking for creative ways to build and improve your credit score, and you've come across StellarFi. Well, in this video, I'm going to be giving you a clear picture of what exactly StellarFi provides, an explanation of the benefits that StellarFi users have at their disposal, and what you absolutely must know before deciding whether or not to use StellarFi, so make sure you stick around till the end of the video. And before we dive in, I want to give a quick thanks to StellarFi for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. Something that's very important to me is that my sponsors allow me to provide unbiased reviews of their products, so I'm going to be covering the good and the bad here. And if at any point you want to sign up and help out the channel, feel free to use that link in the description below. Now, first things first, what actually is StellarFi? Well, StellarFi is a public benefit corporation that sets out to solve one of the biggest economic problems currently facing Americans: access to credit. Essentially, they make it easy for people to manage their bills and build credit in the process. And to do this, they provide you with a platform that allows you to build your credit by paying your bills. We're talking Netflix, phone bill, rent, utility bills, and anything else that you're paying on a monthly recurring basis. So you're already making these payments, but normally they're not building your credit. That's because to build your credit, normally you have to be using some kind of debt. Think a credit card, a mortgage, a car loan, something along those lines. But it makes sense that these regular payments should also be building your credit because they demonstrate your ability to make monthly payments and stick to your obligations. So StellarFi essentially reports these payments to both Experian and Equifax, and we'll have more information on exactly how that works in just a little bit. Also within the app, you're able to set and track your credit related goals. So whether you want to, say, buy a car in 6 months or buy a house in 2 years, they'll help you figure out and track where exactly your credit needs to be in order to do those different things. So now that you understand the concept, how does StellarFi actually work? Well, there's a simple explanation and a more complicated explanation. So let's start off with the simple version. There's essentially a 3-step process that is going to happen here. First, you're going to link your checking account that you already use to pay your bills to StellarFi. Then within StellarFi, you're going to choose the different bills that you want to start reporting to the credit bureaus. So again, things like Netflix, utilities, rent, etc. Then you just keep paying your bills like you normally do and start building credit. And it's really cool how this actually works. So essentially how this works on the back end is StellarFi is actually paying your bill for you. You automatically pay StellarFi back from your linked checking account, and then they report that on-time payment to the credit bureaus. So now that you understand the simple version, let's dive into the nuances, and there are actually 4 additional steps to that process that are going on behind the scenes. First, when the due date of a linked bill arrives, StellarFi is automatically checking your checking account to make sure that you have sufficient funds to pay that bill. Then, if your account balance is sufficient, StellarFi is going to go ahead and pay your bill. This is done via their StellarFi virtual bill pay card. And so this step basically ensures that you're not going to be overdrafting and subjecting yourself to bank fees. Then at the same time, you're automatically paying back StellarFi to ensure that you're not incurring any debt. Then at least once a month, StellarFi is going to batch report your StellarFi limit, which is based on the dollar amount of bills you pay through StellarFi to the major credit bureaus. And so by doing all of that, StellarFi improves factors that make up 80% of your credit score. These are going to be your credit age, which makes up 15% of your credit score, because the longer you use StellarFi, the older the account gets and the more it helps your credit score. Your credit use, which makes up 30% of your credit score. This improves because the reported limit that StellarFi tells to the credit bureaus gradually improves over time as you continue to make on-time payments, and can grow all the way up to $25,000 for Prime members. And then lastly, your on-time payments, which make up 35% of your credit score. This is the most important factor when it comes to building your credit, because what lenders really care about is that you're going to be making on-time payments. And this improves because as you make on-time payments to StellarFi, they're reporting these to the credit bureaus. Now, before we dive into what you absolutely must know about StellarFi, there's a couple other cool features and highlights that I want to mention here. First, there's no credit check to start using StellarFi, which makes it very accessible whether you have low or no credit. This is because they do not consider your credit history when they're onboarding you. Instead, they're using a unique model of identification to ensure the security and authenticity of their users. On top of that, it's very easy to set up a new account and typically takes about 3 minutes to get up and running. It's also extremely safe and secure. They take your personal information very seriously. Obviously, whenever you're talking about credit and personal finances, you have to make sure that the platforms you're using are very secure. And StellarFi is using the most advanced protocols, bank level encryption, all that good stuff to make sure that your personal information is not going to get leaked. They've also got very strong access to customer support via their chatbot, email support, and then also live chat. And when looking at StellarFi reviews, the customer service is often praised. Additionally, as you're building your credit, StellarFi has a number of educational resources that you're able to leverage so that you can learn as you go through this process and understand how things are working on the back end. Again, this comes up in their reviews frequently, like this one that says StellarFi has great educational resources that have helped me learn and understand the credit systems. Additionally, StellarFi is not a secured credit card. This is a common misconception of the product, and whereas most secured credit cards require you to put up a deposit and potentially have fees, this is not what you're getting with StellarFi. So far so good, but now let's dive into those things that you absolutely must know about StellarFi before deciding to use the platform. The first thing to know is that StellarFi does have some blocked merchants, so you're not going to be able to use StellarFi for absolutely every single transaction. The three big categories they are not going to be compatible with are peer-to-peer payments like Venmo, PayPal, things like that, and any kind of illegal products or services. So shouldn't be any big surprises there. If you're trying to game the system, they are not going to like that. The next thing to know is that this is not a free service to use. There are three different tiers of the platform that you're going to choose from, each of which has a monthly cost. The first tier is the Lite plan, which comes in at $4.99 per month. With that, you're going to be getting a $500 spending limit per month. That means that you can only add bills that amount to $500 or less on a monthly basis. You're going to be able to create custom credit goals like we talked about earlier, and you're also going to get access to one-on-one credit counseling, which can be a pretty nice perk. Next is going to be the Prime tier that comes in at $9.99 per month with a 99-cent 30-day trial period. The big change here is that your spend limit is no longer going to be capped at $500 per month and instead can grow all the way up to $25,000 per month. And then lastly, we've got the Premium tier. And as of recording this video, this isn't actually out yet, but when it does come out, it's going to be priced at $29.99 per month. This is going to come with everything from the Prime tier, plus they're going to be giving you an unlimited spending limit. They're going to allow you to pay directly from your StellarFi account with an ACH transfer, which can be pretty useful depending on what bills you're paying. They're going to allow you to pay by check. Again, can be pretty useful depending on what forms of payment you have to use to pay your bills, flexible bill payment dates, and credit lock and disputes. So depending on your needs, what you're kind of looking for from StellarFi, that's going to dictate how much out of pocket you're going to be paying for this service every month. On top of that, you are going to have to be a US citizen with a social security number that is at least 18 years of age. And while there are some negative reviews about StellarFi out there, overall, there's pretty positive sentiment from their user base with a 4.3 out of 5 on Trustpilot, with many positive reviews, again, citing their customer service and very helpful staff. So all that being said, who is StellarFi actually for? Well, there's three main camps of people that are going to benefit the most from using StellarFi. The first is folks with bad credit. So if you're somebody that needs to rebuild your credit and currently you really only have access to predatory products that are going to charge you exorbitant fees, very high interest rates, then StellarFi could be a good choice for you because you know exactly what you're going to be paying every single month, and StellarFi is not going to be looking at your credit when evaluating you for approval. The next group of people that StellarFi is great for is if you are new to credit. So if you don't have any credit currently and you're having a hard time qualifying for credit cards or different loans, then StellarFi could make some sense for you to start using as your first way to start building credit. And then the third group of people is the anti-credit card folks out there. So StellarFi can be a great way to build and diversify your credit portfolio without having to actually go into debt. But if you've already got, say, an 800 plus credit score, this product's probably not going to be super useful for you. Now, if you want to go ahead and sign up for StellarFi and support the channel, feel free to use that link in the description below. Comment below with your thoughts on StellarFi and any experiences you've had with them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.